Good evening, everyone. Rohit sir, make me co-host. Okay,
Done,
thank
sir.
you. Thank you, thank you. I'm facing some problem. The moment I'm trying to share, I'm just a moment. Now I have shared the screen. Yes, good evening, everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So, during our last session, that is on yesterday, we were discussing about the ETOP analysis or ETOP profile. Now, meaning of ETOP, initial discussion we had done in yesterday's session, wherein we had taken some example of Vantara related to environment, and that environment is the general meaning of environment, which we all are aware. But when we talk about ETOP, ETOP includes the environment as well as it extends itself to all the external environment, which includes technological environment, economic environment, political environment, and socio-cultural environment. So in ETOP, we will be concentrating mainly on these four parameters or these four quadrants, which represent this ETOP profile. So the four quadrant one, it represents the economic environment. Quadrant two represents the technological profile. Third quadrant represents the socio-cultural, and the fourth quadrant, it represents the political profile. Now, ETOP analysis, it is considered as a model or a tool which is developed to analyze the external threat and opportunities for a particular organization. Every organization which is into business does have both threat as well as opportunity. Now, how to analyze that what are the threats which the organization may face in near future and in distant future, as well as which are the opportunities or what are the opportunities available for our organization in near future and in distant future. That is to be analyzed under this ETOP profile, which is also called as environmental threat and opportunity profile. It is also considered as a proactive analysis tool. Why proactive? Because the organization is trying to analyze the future threat and opportunity for the organization. They are not waiting for the future, that okay, in future if the problem arises, then we will work on solution for that particular problem. So they are anticipating, they are trying to analyze that what are going to be the threats in the future for the organization and what could be the opportunities available for the organization. And that's the reason why it is called as a proactive tool, not a reactive tool. Reactive tool is whenever the problem will come, we will discuss about the problem, we will analyze or we will go to the root cause of the problem, and then we will find a solution or we will try to solve that particular problem. Now that is a reactive tool. ETOP is considered as a proactive tool. So ETOP is not waiting for the problem to occur. They are planning in advance that in case in future if such type of problem comes in front of our organization, how we are going to handle that particular problem, how we are going to overcome that particular problem. And that's the reason why it is always called as proactive tool. Now there is difference between SWOT analysis and ETOP analysis. Now SWOT analysis we have discussed and everyone is aware of that it is strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. Now SWOT, the basic difference between these two tools, that is SWOT analysis and ETOP analysis or ETOP profile, the basic difference is that ETOP concentrates only on external threat and opportunity. It doesn't concentrate on the internal strength and weaknesses of the organization. Whereas SWOT analysis covers both internal strength and weaknesses of the organization as well as it tries to study the external opportunities and threat of the organization. So that is done under SWOT analysis, which covers both the internal and external aspects. But when we talk about this ETOP analysis, it restricts itself only to analyze the external factors in terms of threats, in terms of opportunity. So that is the basic difference between these two type of strategic management tools, that is ETOP and the SWOT analysis. Now, how ETOP works, that we are going to discuss. Now, the first one, first step is dividing the environment into economic, market, social, international, ecological, etc. Second stage is analyzing the impact of each sector on the organization. That what will be the impact of technology in future on our organization. To analyze that is the job of ETOP analysis. Then subdividing each environmental sector into sub-sectors. For example, if the organization is studying that what will be the impact of technology on the growth of our organization. Then again, it is not, they are not studying technology as a one mm, as a whole, but they are going to do dissection of technology. They are going to divide technological impact in different ways, in different parts. That what will be the technological, for example, mechanical technology means now the organization is using, say, semi automated machine. When we will be in future, when we will be replacing our semi automated machines with the fully automated machines, what will be the impact of that on our organization? Then which type of technology we will be using, from where we will be getting that particular technology, how much investment we will be making in that particular technology, what will be the return on investment in for that particular technology. So it is not the technology, the impact we are studying in general or at macro level. But here in ETOP analysis, what happens is the four factors which we had discussed, that is economic, political, socio-culture, cultural, and technological. All these four, they are subdivided, and then it is studied, the each and every subdivision, how it is going to impact the growth of the organization or stability of the organization or profitability of the organization under ETOP analysis. Now here they have mentioned that how it helps the organization. Now first is help the organization knows where it stands concerning its environment. It helps the organization that where we are concerning its environment. Environment, uh, please do not take the environment in literal meaning, but environment means the where the organization finds itself among the competitors, that whether we are at top, whether we are at bottom, or whether we are at middle, or whether we are the second very most important company in that particular sector. And that so ETOP, with the help of these analysis, the organization can say, can come to know that if we say accept the technology, then within next 2 years, within next 3 years, depending upon the results of the analysis, the organization can come to know that we will be at third level, fourth level, or first level, or second level. Second, it formulates the appropriate, helps the organization to formulate in formulating an appropriate strategy. Now ETOP doesn't only study the organization, but it studies the entire external environment. When we are saying the entire external environment, it includes the strategies of the competitors also. When the company is studying the impact of, say, technology, what will be the technological impact on our organization, and what will be the technology impact on other organizations, that is also analyzed. And because of that, the organization is in a position to formulate a better strategy. Now last time, yesterday only, I had given you an example that why India waited for around 6 months for getting into in war with Pakistan. The reason was, if we say, if we want to implement ETOP under that, at that particular time, the Indian Army wanted to analyze the external environment. External environment means that what is the capability of the enemy, where they have positioned their army, navy, air force, how much ammunition they are having, what are their strategies. All this thing was analyzed, and for that analysis, it took 6 months, around 6 months, 5 to 6 months. And when every external factor was analyzed properly, they came up with a strategy, which was a very good strategy. And then, according to that strategy, because of that implementation of that strategy, I had just uh, discussed in yesterday's class also, that that was the largest surrender, biggest surrender in the world. 93,000 the Pakistani army soldiers and officers, they surrendered in front of Indian army. Now that is for, say, if we talk about that is ETOP for warfare. In the same manner, the ETOP analysis is done under in the organizations also. That what are the opportunities available for us and what are the threats available to us. Now, every factor plays a very important role. All the four factors, economic factors, how economic factors plays a very important role, for example, in the growth of the organization. If we subdivide that economic part, I'll give you an example that how the economic factor plays a very crucial role in the growth of an organization. For example, if there is a recession or economic slowdown has come, it will lead to what? It will lead to less purchasing power of the people. Now, less purchasing power will lead to what? Less consumption of product. Why? People do not have enough money to spend on the we will say non-necessary items. Non-necessary means, for example, I'm having a phone. Now, in slowdown or in economic, say, slowdown, when my purchasing power or I have less money in my hand. Why? Because I have lost my job, or because there is loss in the organization, so there is salary deduction has taken place, or because of any other reason. When I am having less money in my hand, and my phone is right now I am having a phone. Earlier, I had decided that after 2 months I will be purchasing a new phone. But after 2 months, because of this economic slowdown and because of less money in my hand and because of that uncertain economy, what I'm going to do is, even if I'm having money in my hand, I'm going to save that money for that to overcome that uncertain future because of economic slowdown. I'm not going to spend in purchasing the mobile. I will keep that money with me so that in future, if problem is there, I can spend that item in purchasing necessary things like food, like medicine and likewise items. Were to pay for the electricity bill, pay for water bill, pay for property tax. I will save that money for those necessary things for me. Then I will think that, okay, without mobile, or right now I'm having a mobile, I can wait for 2 more months till the situation is again normal, or 3 months or 6 months till the situation is normal. Then I will think of purchasing a new mobile phone. So all the companies which are manufacturing mobile phone or luxury things, they will be under a problem because of the economic slowdown. So that economic slowdown directly impacts on the growth of the telecom company, telephone manufacturing company, or car manufacturing companies, or luxury car manufacturing companies. So this way, each and every factor, that is the example for say this uh, economic factor. Now, right now what is happening in China, most of you who follows the news, you might be aware of that right now China is going through a very bad phase, particularly related to one sector, and that sector is called as real estate sector. Now, real estate sector in China is really reeling. Reeling means it is not doing well, and there are number of problems because the largest real estate company of China, that is Evergrande, that has been declared bankrupt. The other top real estate players, they have applied for bankruptcy, and there, why? Because there is a gap between demand and supply. Demand is less and supply is more, and they have started, say, there are colonies or localities which are termed as ghost cities, or ghost towns, or ghost localities. Flats are there, buildings are there, but no one is there to buy those flats. And those who had invested or who had taken loan for and purchased their flat, their EMI has started, but they have not got the possession of those flats. Why? Because the real estate companies have gone bankrupt. So only half finished, and people in China, they have started living in half finished houses. The construction is still going on, but because of the loans, because of the EMIs, now people are unable to, say, afford the rent also. So instead of paying rent, they have decided, many of the Chinese have decided that they will be shifting and they will be living in the half finished project. So that is how the economic factor directly affects the growth of the company. So Evergrande, their largest company, gone bankrupt. Why they have gone bankrupt? Because of this economic. The moment the Chinese GDP went down, the Chinese economic growth went down, people in China, they started saving money. Instead of investing in flats, they started saving. If the one person is having, say, one flat or two flats, and he earlier he had thought that he will be investing in one more flat, one more property, but the moment he saw that the economic slowdown has started, he decided that now he decides that instead of investing in that property, let's save that money for my future, for the better future of my family. And because of that, the buildings are there, but buyers are not there. And real estate companies, they have taken loan from the banks, and they have uh, constructed huge projects, and now they are unable to repay the loan. So all the real estate companies in China, they are under trouble. So that is the impact of economic. That is economic impact. Next one, if we talk about how socio-cultural factor impacts the growth of the organization. Now again, if we take example from both the point of view, that threat and opportunities. Now for one company it can be threat, for the other company it can be say opportunity. For real estate in China, it's a threat. The companies are really not doing good. But when we compare it to other companies, the analysis shows that we have better opportunity in China. Which are those companies? For example, pharmaceutical companies. Now they are analyzing that in the years to come, China will have to fight a problem, and the name of the problem is aging population. Aging population means when most of the Chinese population will be 60 plus. Majority of the population will be 60 plus. 60 plus means they will not be contributing directly to the growth of the country, but they will be depending on the infrastructure of the country. So they are not earning, but some companies like pharmaceutical companies, 60 plus means the most of the people will be suffering from some type of problem. Maybe diabetes is there, hypertension is there, stress is there, or blood pressure is there, or heart related problems are there. So the market in pharmaceutical market is going to increase. So the pharmaceutical companies, they feel that this particular situation, which is posing as a threat for one sector, will pose as an opportunity to us. Same is the case if we talk about the European countries. The situation is worse than China in European countries. Why? Because the population is aging very fast. And that's the reason why most of the European governments, they have started changing the retirement age also, because they do not have people who can work in the organization, young people. So earlier it was 55, it was increased to 60, then it was increased to 65. Now in some European countries they have increased the retirement age to 70 also. Why? Because less population. Most of the population in European countries also, it is dangerous than China, that they are aging population, aged population. That means the government has to invest more money in maintaining their healthcare facilities. So again, for pharmaceutical companies, there is an opportunity. For other companies, it can be a threat. Now, for example, if we take the Indian example, the IT companies, normally we see every week we see that one big company news flashes that they have removed 100 employees or 1000 employees or 5000 employees. So that is a threat for the IT sector. Now, threat, why the IT is facing this threat or who is posing that threat? So it is technology. The technology is changing very fast, and that's the reason why the IT is also having problems. 2 months back, when an American company, Claude, they came up with two tools. One is called as Claude Code, and the other one is called as Claude Cowork. Now, these two tools, they decided that they will be releasing these two tools in the market. And during the initial phase, when the experimentation was being carried out, the government, American government, they decided that they should not launch these platforms or tools. And the reason was that if these tools, Claude Code, means that now there is no need for coders in the IT field. So those who were earning in lakhs, suddenly they feel that they are not required in the organization. Why? Because there is a software. You have to just give a command or prompt to the software that you want this type of code and prepare or design a code for me, and these are the parameters which should be included, or these are the factors which should be, or these are the options or services that should be included in that particular code. And you enter or you click on that button, and automatically everything is being done by the AI for you. No coders, no programmers are required. So that was a threat. Now, 2 months back, this, this was considered as a very genuine threat for the IT company. But last month, the major IT companies of America, they have decided to call back their employees who they have they removed just 2 months back. So the reason why there is a shift, because everyone was thinking that because of AI, because of technology, because of automation, now the problem is going to be there. Every IT company will have that threat of survival because of IT company, because of this AI. Now the Americans have realized that to maintain the AI networks or AI capacity or AI infrastructure, the investment which is required is very huge. So it is not possible. So they have decided that very slowly they will be shifting. Earlier they had decided that immediately we will be shifting. But the moment they realize that it is very costly to maintain that AI infrastructure, it is very costly. So it is better to go slow, and it is better to again start recruiting people who will be taking care of their programming and coding and all these things. So that's the reason why it is said that analysis of external environment plays a very important role in the growth or in the decline of the organization. So that is the impact of technology. Both opportunities are also there, threat is also there. One sector may be under threat, but it is not that forever this sector is going to be under threat. It may happen that in next 2 3 years, next 5 years, again in China, again the real estate sector will boom. Again, it is going to grow. It all depends upon the analysis of the external environment. So similarly, the socio. Now we have discussed how economic factors play a role, then how the technology plays or impacts the growth of the organization. Now, how socio-cultural factors they put an impact on the growth of a particular company. That is also very important. Now, socio-cultural means that how the society is shifting from one step to the other. Now, earlier it was thought that only we should go for the Indian company. But slowly, if the trend comes that now foreign companies have started coming to India, they have started manufacturing their products in India. Earlier, only option available to Indians were that we have to purchase the Indian products only because only they were available in India. Now the foreign companies have started coming in. Now, for example, very simple example I'll give you, the ice cream. Earlier, only one, two, three options were available. Now many foreign giants have started opening their stores in India, and we are seeing a shift, particularly the younger generation or the Gen Z. They are shifting and they are trying to say experiment those tastes. So earlier, for example, if earlier 2 years back or 3 years back or right now also, the major players are Amul is the major player. Then in ice cream industry, if we talk about, and then Vadilal is there, Quality is there. So these are considered, and many more. But we cannot be sure that in the next 1 year, next 2 year, next 3 years, the same trend is going to be there. Now, ETOP analysis helps the organization to find out how socio-cultural impact is going to change in the near future. Now, right now, if the younger population, particularly the Gen Z, is suppose they have started trying instead of Amul, let's try the Chocobar or the other flavor or other ice cream of which is being offered by a foreign brand. So one customer of Amul is shifting towards that company. So this way, in ETOP analysis, the analysis is done that in future a situation can come which can pose a threat to the Amul company or the Indian ice cream company makers. That is why it is called as proactive. Why proactive? Because it analyzes and prepares a report that we have to change very quickly, otherwise this will be the threat. Don't only concentrate on the present figures. Try to anticipate in this situation if what is going to be the future figures for the organization. Then only you will be able to understand that yes, you need to change and change this. Then only you are going to survive in this competition, otherwise you are not going to be. And that's the reason why we are saying that companies are coming up with various flavors. Why they are coming up with new flavors? Because they are seeing that when the other foreign brands are coming up with some innovations in the ice cream We should not lag behind. Otherwise, we will be far behind from those foreign brands. So that is how socio-cultural. Next is the government factor. Now, how government has a impact on the growth of the organization. Again, yesterday also we had discussed that whenever the government comes up with a new rule, that rule may have positive or negative impact on the growth of the organization. Again, yesterday also we had discussed, if we talk about environment in a literal meaning, that what is going to happen in future, why the Reliance company is making such a huge investment in that their forest ecosystem or forest initiative, which is called as Vantara. And yesterday also we had discussed that because in future they are aware that as in other countries already there are strict norms, already there are strict laws related to releasing the carbon footprint in terms of pollution. So the company is already aware that in future, if such rule comes in, our profit should not get hampered. Our growth should not get hampered. We are in advance ready for that. So that is how the economy, the technology, the socio-cultural, as well as the government have a very, say, uh, great impact on the growth of the organization. And with the help of ETOP analysis, the organization can say go ahead, or they can solve, or they can overcome the threats which are being posed to the organization. So it helps in SWOT analysis that we have already discussed. Then ETOP helps the organization to identify the opportunities and threats. With example, we have discussed all these things. So far, if you have not understood anything, please go ahead, or we will move on. Now, here in the slide, you can you can see on the slide that how the there you can find out the environmental factors, then nature of the impact and impact of each sector. This is for a particular company. Just a example that how that ETOP analysis is done. Now, this type of diagram or this type of graphs are prepared by the company officials or experts, where on one hand they will be writing these environmental factors. For example, you can see on the screen economy, economic nature of impact. They have given down arrow. Why they have shown down arrow? Impact of each sector, they have shown economy slowdown, increase in interest rate. If the interest rate increases, or if the economy slows down, the growth of the organizations also slows down. Then market, if again they have shown the downward arrow. Why downward arrow? Nature of the impact is downward. When the nature of the impact is downward, when there is less growth in demand and domestic market. We are manufacturing, my company is manufacturing, say, air conditioners. But can we say that my company is going to grow in near future if there is less growth in the domestic market? No. The company is going to grow when the demand in the domestic market is going to grow. So that is why they have shown a downward arrow. International, they have mentioned again nature of the impact. They have shown downward arrow. Why? A merger, a meager share of export, threat of Chinese substitution. Now, if the organization is into, say, international trade, again the international trade, for trade, the organization is under threat. Under threat for what? Threat of Chinese substitution. That is a very huge threat. Every company is having that threat. Every company. And particularly the European and American companies or Western companies, they are under tremendous threat of Chinese substitution. I'll give you one example. The Rolls Royce luxury car maker in India, the price of Rolls Royce starts with say 5 crore. Now, why they are say charging so huge amount? Because they have a very their vision is different. Their vision is that we are going to provide ultimate luxury to the customer. Ultimate luxury. Handcrafted seats will be there, and all the luxury you will enjoy. Now, when we are talking about that threat of Chinese substitution, again, China has also got a substitute of Rolls Royce, and that Chinese substitute is having all the features which original uh, this Rolls Royce is having. All the features, same features, but at a very less price. If the price of original Rolls Royce is 5 CR, this Chinese will be selling by for around 50 lakh or so rupees. I'm talking about. So that is again a serious threat. So people who were having money and earlier who had thought in their mind that no, whenever I'll be having enough money, I'm going to purchase a Rolls Royce only. Why? Because that gives you a status symbol. But the moment that particular person, when he is having money and now he decides that he will be purchasing a Rolls Royce, the moment he sees that substitute, he may change his mind that why to invest or why to spend 5 CR when I'm getting the same luxury features in say 50 lakh rupees. And that particular car has shown in advertisement. If you Google that company and if you just watch the videos of the advertisement, I'm unable to recall the name of the company, the Chinese company which is manufacturing that very similar Rolls Royce cars or exact copy of Rolls Royce cars, we will say. They have released advertisements where you can see that a glass is filled of water and that is kept on the dashboard of the car or at the handrest of the car, and the car is say running. It is moving on road, it is moving through the speed breakers also, and still the glass is kept like that only, and there is no spillage of out of the glass. So that is how they are trying to advertise their product, and that is directly affecting the growth or profitability of the uh, original Rolls Royce company. Many examples are there. Many examples are there where we can have a threat. Now, I don't know how many of you are aware that when the term that is LPG was introduced in 1991, the Indian market was opened. In late 90s, in late 90s, when the Bajaj came up with its say most successful brand or most successful product. Everyone is aware of that the most successful two wheeler of Bajaj was uh, Pulsar. Pulsar was a huge hit, and it made Bajaj a very profitable company. One of the reason in the making Bajaj so profitable was the start of, or was the huge sale of this Pulsar. Now, at that particular time, in late 90s and early 2000, when the Indian market was open and when the foreign collaborations were going on, when the foreign permissions were given, that okay, you can sell our product, sell your product in our country. At that particular time, the moment the Chinese two-wheeler manufacturers they came to know that India has come up with a particular motorcycle, name of the motorcycle is Pulsar. It is being manufactured by Bajaj, and these are the specification of the Pulsar, and it has been a huge hit among the youth of India as well as among the youth of other Asian and African countries. It was not only hit in India, but it was hit in other Asian as well as African countries. They came up immediately, they copied the design of the motorcycle and they started with their own motorcycle. At that particular time when it was launched, it was around 60 to 70,000. I'm talking about the price of Pulsar at that particular time when it was launched. Immediately, within say few months, the Chinese companies were ready with their own product, which was very much similar to the bike of Pulsar. Name of that particular product was Gulsar. So we had come up with Pulsar. Immediately after some time, they came up with Gulsar, and the cost of the Gulsar was exactly less than 50% the price of Pulsar. And they applied to the government of India that we, because you have opened the door of economy, now you have embraced open economy, open market policy. We want to sell our bikes in India, and the price of the bike will be, of course, it will be around 30,000 rupees when the original price was around 60 to 70,000 rupees of Pulsar. Same specification, same everything, only the name was Gulsar in China, Pulsar in India. At that particular time, the government of India decided that if we allow Chinese companies sell their products like bikes in India, then it will be a disaster for the Indian company because we cannot survive that type of competition. That is the fact. And at that particular time, government decided that we are going to impose more than 100% import duty, and that was where the Indian two-wheeler market could survive because of that particular decision. So that is again a threat. So companies have to analyze like this, that a day we are doing great. Now, what has happened to BYD after Tesla? We are aware that Tesla was considered as one of the best electric car. It was there on top of the world more than 10 years, and now BYD has overtaken. Again, you just compare it with the cost of BYD electric and the Tesla. You will come to know that it is around 50%, and same features, or you will find one or two more future, but not less. That is the threat of substitution. So that's the reason why downward arrow is there. No political impact if the government doesn't come up with any say rule which is going to adversely affect the growth of the organization, then the that parallel arrow can be drawn. Then next is regulatory decrease in import duty, environmental clearance hurdle, decrease in import duty. If the duty of on import is uh, decreased by the government, automatically what will happen? We can have, say, if I'm fond of chocolate, I'm eating now Cadbury's chocolate, which is manufactured in India, which is produced in India. Same, if the import duty is uh, reduced by the country, then we will be having the option to try for the other brand chocolates also. So again, that's the reason why it is socio. They have given here the parallel arrow, no social impact, as mostly B2B are there, business to business. But it is not the case of each and every company. For each and every company, separate ETOP analysis is prepared. Separate, it is not that one ETOP analysis can exactly be implemented and tried for another company. In automobile sector also, for each and every automobile company, they have to do their own ETOP analysis. They cannot just copy paste the ETOP analysis of the other company. So that was related to the ETOP analysis. I hope everyone has understood what is the ETOP analysis, why it is called as proactive, and how the organization analyzes the impact of economy, impact of technology, impact of socio-culture, and the impact of political, uh, say, political environment on the growth, on the success of the organization, and how it tries to encash the opportunities and how it tries to overcome the threats. So that was related to ETOP analysis. If you have not understood anything, you can directly unmute and you can ask me your doubt. Yes, if anyone is having any query, please go ahead. Any query, please go ahead. Okay, so no queries are there. So we will stop here as now it is already 8. So we will stop here. We will try to complete our first unit by in tomorrow's session. Only one important uh, model is remaining, and that is called as Porter's five forces. What are those Porter's five forces that we are going to discuss in our tomorrow's session? So thank you everyone for being present in today's session. Tomorrow again we will be meeting at same time, that is 7 p.m. Please join tomorrow's session. Thank you.